So this is now midweek during your week of morning prayer, and we promised everybody that we would talk and tell you a little bit more about Raúl and about his life.
I was 19 when I had my calling to be not only part of the church, but also to be a priest. It's always very difficult to explain how it happened, but I felt very deep in my heart that was the case. And obviously, in my country, most of the people are Roman Catholic, and the faculties of theology and the training colleges are obviously Roman Catholic, and that was my path. I have been a Roman Catholic for more than 40 years. There wasn't any opposition, but there were many doubts in the air, and most people in my family were, if not scared, they were really quite, not pessimistic, but not really very supportive. And what is this man doing? That was the general feeling in the family.
And sort of summarising your time, it seems like you had quite a long period of challenge, really. Do I fit in? How am I going to do this? All of the restrictions perhaps that go around the life of becoming a Catholic priest weren't sitting that comfortably with you.
Well, it wasn't comfortable because even though it might sound strange, obviously everybody will make the assumption that if you want to be a priest, you are absolutely fine with celibacy.
Yeah.
For me, it didn't make any sense, and I have always defended that celibacy is a gift that God might give you or might not give you. I didn't have the gift of celibacy. I was very conscious about the fact that I wanted to be a married man. And at some point, as I was finishing my degree, I was increasingly closer to finishing that degree of 5 years. What I am going to do, if I am feeling called as much as to ministry, as well as to be a married man and having children. That was a very big drama for me, and I quit. When I say I quit, I finished my degree, but I was never ordained.
Yes, and your faith has kind of ebbed and flowed a little bit during that period of challenge.
Well, once I left, to be honest, my second degree in journalism helped me to be still in touch with the Roman Catholic Church, because actually it was a Roman Catholic University of Navarre. But once I finished my second degree in journalism, I just left the church. I stopped reading the Bible, I stopped praying, I stopped having a proper congregation as a reference. And I just left basically for more than 20 years until I was on my 40s, still in my country, and I met someone Anglican, which is as likely as to finding an alligator in the North Pole.
An alligator in the North Pole, though. So tell me, who was this person?
This person,
how did they affect you?
Is a very public figure in my country. I knew about him because I used to be a journalist. One day I met him on the streets, and this is very usual in my country. You met somebody, you start talking out of the blue. Oh, where is a bar or a coffee shop? Let's have a coffee together. And as I was going deeper into the conversation with this man, he said, I am Anglican. I couldn't believe my ears, and then tell me more. This is what I told him. He was telling me about his Anglican faith. I was feeling a kind of second calling very deep in my heart, not to be a priest, don't get me wrong, but to come back to the church. And I came back to the church, to the Anglican church, which in the Basque country is tiny, is a little minority. And then some years afterwards, my life was, professional life, I have to say, was coming to an end. It was a time of crisis, personal crisis, you can call it midlife crisis if you want, and I decided...
I know all about
it. Exactly.
Raúl, I know all about it. What have I done? I'm in the middle age, what have I got to show for my life?
Exactly, spot on. And I decided to just start a new life from scratch, and I decided to challenge myself. I'm going to leave my country, and I'm going to start a new life in a new country. It was a no-brainer. Everybody in my country studied English as a second language, and I decided to come to England. It was a very difficult decision to make, actually.
And that was in 2017?
That was in 2017, at the beginning of that year. I was just coming to England, to Essex.
To Essex. So you came straight to Essex?
Yes.
And you met your wife?
Some months afterwards. It was really quick, absolutely. And then I met a priest in the diocese of St. Edmundsbury and Ipswich. She asked me, well, you have told me about the theology that you study, but you are not a priest, are you? No, I am not. Well, do you mind if I introduce you to a very interesting person? And that person was Reverend Canon Tim, the former DDO, back in time, at the end of 2018. And this is how the ball started to roll.
From Spain, but you still identify very much as a Spaniard and as a, do you?
As a Basque person.
As a Basque.
Which is my culture.
Yes.
A millenary culture with one of the oldest languages in Europe, non-Indo-European, and I say this with a lot of pride. Yes,
yes. And to be the vicar now here living in very beautiful rural Suffolk, and it really is a beautiful, I mean, it's not just because of the weather, it's just a lovely countryside around here. So your work is predominantly rural now, and how does that fit with your life, and how do you feel about the challenges that brings?
Well, I feel very happy. I come from a family of farmers, so being in the countryside is absolutely great. And the way this is making me grow as a Christian is because it's very much about relationships. We are very much doing our bit of work at the church, but we spend a lot of time outside of our temples, visiting people. There is even a care home not far away from here in another one of these villages. And I always remember the words of Bishop Martin. God chose you to be priests in first place because he wanted to save you. And that statement is so ingrained in my heart that actually I feel very privileged to be a priest and to be able to minister.
So thank you so much. It's been really nice just having an initial time, an initial discussion with you. Wish you all the best with your work here. And aim for bishop. Just aim for bishop.
Oh. Thank you
God
so much.
will take you there.
God bless you.
And you too.